Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We are outside a house flip that is almost finished. We're just doing kind of a final walkthrough to see what minor stuff needs done. This is one we bought from a wholesaler a few months ago, and it does have a sprinkler system, and we had the water on, but we turned it off because in Colorado, you turn your water off in October, and we've had a real warm October, so I think we turned it off a little bit too soon, but the grass should come back. It shouldn't have any problem in the spring, but it's not as pretty as we'd like right now. For those of you who saw this house before, we'll have a link in the comments showing it, but it's a different color now. A new door, a new screen door, because this house got shot up by what I think was a pellet gun, a pretty high-powered pellet gun. In fact, we had to get a new front window because of that. Inside, though, it looks so much better. One weird thing we just noticed is the closet door goes in. I'm not sure if it did that before or if our guys kind of did that, but really takes away a lot of the room that you've got. This does have a basement. It is not finished, and the light is not working either. So that's one thing we always check: our lights, doors, make sure everything closes right, works right, and then make a list of stuff for our guys to finish up. Here's the basement, which is pretty large and open, which is nice. The one thing Nikki and I were talking about, Nikki is my project manager who helps with all kinds of stuff on my flips and everything in my business, but it might look so much better with floor paint on this, concrete paint, just because it's pretty bland and boring, and there's some spots that are pretty dirty and ugly too. And I think these just need to go and get cleaned up. Every time I open these up, a spider attempts to jump out at me, but luckily today I was safe. But the floors are, they're not awful, but, there are some stains, and it would look a lot better if they were painted and just cleaned up a little bit. Not sure what that was exactly. Now, you might also remember this is the house that had the hole in the floor because of something dying or using the floor as a bathroom for a lot. I'm not really sure. Again, that was in our before video. But we definitely fixed that. Had to replace the subfloor and everything in that spot right above here. So that's been all done. We didn't just leave it. And that was a weird one. So still not sure exactly what's going on there. There's just a massive dark stain right above it too. But I searched the history on this house to see if there's anything crazy going on with the pellet guns and different things, and couldn't find anything, but you never know. All right, of course, we did flooring, paint. We weren't going to do the windows. This house is not that old. It's like 20 years old now. It doesn't seem like it's that old, but it is. And a lot of the windows, like I said, this front one had holes in it from the pellets. Maybe it's a shotgun, who knows. And the back ones were just stained by the sun. So it faces west, and the back really got exposed to the sun, and they're just stained yellow and really awful looking. So that's what we did there. Nikki did a little different color choice here, a little darker paint, a little different floors than just the basic gray on gray that a lot of times you do. And I know people complain about the grays and why people always use grays. Well, it's because it's so neutral and it works for a lot of people. And when you do different colors and darker colors and try different things, sometimes they don't always look like you hope they look. And so it can just be a lot safer going with the basic normal stuff you always do. So I can get both sides of it, but it's never fun to choose a really bad color, which we've had happen before, and then have to redo everything. That's a pricey mistake we don't want to make. The backyard is okay, but definitely needs cleaned up. We'll send our landscapers out to clean it up a little bit. Still some junk out here. The reason for that is we had a dumpster here for a while. Took it out because we don't want the whole neighborhood using our dumpsters, which they do if we leave them. And then we'll bring another one back here at the very end, most likely a smaller one. And so they just left some of their trash in the yard, garage, until we get that big dumpster or small, medium dumpster back out here again. So we try to minimize how often the dumpster is there. And our dumpster company doesn't really want us leaving it here all the time either, because they like to keep those moving, keep those in circulation. All right, here's the kitchen, which is the same cabinets, painted, but we put granite and a new backsplash in. We don't usually do that. One reason we did that is this is kind of a more expensive house. It'll be in the mid to high 400s when we sell it. think we bought it for $360 something, I think. And it's small. So that's one thing. It's such a small kitchen. It wasn't that expensive to do granite, redo it. Now it's still more than doing laminate or other counters, but for a small one like that in a higher price range, we decided to go with a little higher end kitchen. And that kitchen too also had a stove in it, or sorry, a fridge in it before that was just massive. It feels so much bigger just taking out that fridge. And we've talked about this before too. Most of our flips we do not sell with fridges. We don't need to. There's a spot that needs touched up, obviously. And a lot of times the carpet guys will do that. When they're laying carpet, they'll scuff up the trim, but usually it's the trim close to the floor. But they might have hit that with their carpet roll. But it saves us money not having a fridge. We don't need it. Most people expect to buy one or bring their own. So, and when we're doing, 10, 20 remodels a year, that can save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We did redo the bathrooms on this too, even though they weren't that old. They were builder grade, pretty basic, pretty ugly. That bathroom was missing something that we figured out later that I didn't notice at first, but I noticed when I looked at the other bathroom. We'll show you here in a second. Yes, we did carpet in the bedrooms. Again, that can be very climate specific and location specific. We're in Colorado, so sometimes you see hard flooring throughout a house. A lot of times you'll see carpet, especially in the basements, especially in bedrooms, just because it's warmer, not as cold as hard flooring. And it's just, I don't mind it myself personally. I kind of like having the carpet too. So hard floors in the living areas is usually pretty common, and then carpet in the bedrooms. Used to be carpet was everywhere, but that's not quite the in style right now. Of course, checking all the closet doors to make sure they open and don't fall off their track, which happens sometimes. And one thing I noticed too after this, the ends weren't painted, right? When you fold them, right, there's an in-between, not like the ends, but the middle ends, if you know what I mean. Those weren't painted. Those are pretty rough. So that is not paint. That's just dirt. And then I noticed something in here that was very weird. That's the toilet paper holder. And it's pretty far, not to mention there's no mirror, but that's easy stuff to fix. It's pretty far away from the toilet. And so I actually went in the other bathroom to look and see where its toilet paper holder was, and it didn't have one. So we'll definitely put that on the list too. But overall, house is pretty good. Garage is really nice. It's got a big garage, lots of stuff in there like I was talking about before. And I think it should sell pretty quick. It's a tough time to sell houses in the fall. It actually gets easier the closer we get to the new year, even in the winter. Fall is a real tough time of year to sell. So we'll get this one cleaned. I don't know if we're going to stage it yet or not. Always happy to hear people's thoughts on that. We may or may not stage it. And then, of course, we'll get some pictures done, get it listed, and get it on the market. So we'll have some other flips we're working on. We'll have updates on those coming up very soon, especially the solar, which we're not real sure how to handle that still. We may see how much power the solar generates soon, but the house is mostly done. It's just got a solar lean against the equipment, so it's a little weird, but we'll have an update on that one soon here too.